Hey guys, so today I thought of a topic for my video, and it's my chronic asthma and how people, including myself, but um, mostly other people, underestimated that chronic lung disease because, let's be honest, it can be mortal, but I had asthma attacks during which I had to go to hospital. And right now, so when I'm doing this, it sounds kind of like benign. And right now, it's not like I'm having an attack. I'm fine. But I have my medication in my backpack, and it's with cortisone because the normal spray isn't effective enough. And so this long-term treatment with cortisone in it, I'm supposed to take this morning and night. But I've talked to, okay, so this is how it's been prescribed to me. And I know I should take it like that. But I have taken this since I was a child. Since I was a kid, like 7 years old. I had my first asthma attack when I was a couple of months old. I remember going to hospital like at 8 years old, whatever. And I don't know what it... So apparently it's asthma. But like, especially also during Corona, in Germany at least, people started to say, yeah, I also have asthma. I also have asthma, and so on. And so, okay, asthma is a 21st century, like a pretty common, like modern disease. But in the shape of or form I have it, when I get my asthma attack, and there's other people like watching it, they realize, okay, this guy, it's not just, okay, this is severe. Like this guy needs his spray, and if he doesn't, we don't know what to do. And also when people talk to me during my asthma attack, I can't talk, guys. I can't talk during my asthma attack. And so I remember like lots of asthma attacks, typically running to get the train, in the cold. This is the worst. I would have such asthma that I would have to brace myself, because this is the best position to, like, for your lungs to be kind of like extended in such a way that you can breathe to your full capacity, kind of. And yeah, so I would sit in the train with other people next to me and stuff, and I would see stars. I would start having such lack of oxygen that I would literally, like, my vision would get affected, and I would see stars, and I would see kind of like dark. And when people talk to me, I'm like, guys, and if you go to hospital because of an asthma attack, which fortunately I haven't gone to in a couple of years now, like I think 4 years. Yeah, if you go to hospital for an asthma attack, the thing is, they're going to give you way too much of these like medications, of this like, you just need one puff. You just need, like, I know that like the spray I have in my backpack, I just need one little puff, and it's going to solve it. It's going to solve it, like pretty much perfectly, okay? But if I don't have it, and I go to hospital having asthma, they have to follow a certain way of doing this, like a code, they have rules probably of how do you act, what do you give to a patient who has an acute asthma attack. And so you have to lay down and breathe in and out of this like mask for a fucking hour. And so when you're done with it, it kind of like elevates your heart rhythm, and it makes you want to puke. So I remember going out of the clinic when I was young, puking all over the place. And last time I went to hospital because of an asthma attack, I told them I would just need one little puff of this medication that the doctor is about to prescribe me, and I'm going to pick up at the drugstore right after. But no, I know that now I have to go through this procedure of inhaling this stuff that elevates my heart rhythm and is probably way too much. I just need this bit of cortisone to stop the inflammation. Because from what I understood, asthma is an inflammation happening within the lungs that tighten in French it's called alvéole pulmonaire, so they get really tight and the airflow is restricted. And with mucus, you could you could reach a point where you can't breathe in and out anymore at all. And so, as I told you, when I had severe asthma attacks, I at some point could barely breathe for sometimes maybe a couple of hours even. And I wonder what it does to the brain also. Because, let's be honest, the lack of oxygen, also my oxygen levels got measured last time I was in hospital a couple of years ago. Now I make it sound also dramatic, but okay, it's not as hectic right now, right? But believe it or not, I had instances where who knows, like asthma can also be fatal. It can also result in death, right? And so having gone through lots of asthma attacks, and also my oxygen levels got measured when I arrived in hospital. Like the last time I had an acute asthma attack. In fact, my oxygen levels were fucking low. Yeah, they were low. They were low, like the oxygen levels within the blood, or I think like the CO2, the carbonate dioxide, I don't know, but like it's the CO2, right? And so it would accumulate in my body, and if I can't properly also breathe in and out, because when you breathe the CO2 out, it's basically used up oxygen that your body needs for its vital functions. And so I remember once I was at this party when I was in high school, and there was a cat in the house, and I'm allergic to cats. And I remember that the party got interrupted because one kid wasn't invited, and so he told his dad that was friends with the kid, with the kid's parents, that threw the party while they were on some like vacation. And basically the dad came to check the house, and we all hid it, but eventually he would hear a noise, I don't know, but like a sound, like and it was me actually. I think I said something, and so basically all of us, like all the 30, 20, I think we were maybe 20 or 30 people, we had to go in the cave. And in the cave, the cat had its like a place of like its food, its place to sleep, and so on. And for me, this was intense. This asthma, I remember, it was intense. And I would lack air and I would laugh so hard. But it was like a euphoric kind of it wasn't like a normal laughter. It was definitely coming out of me like a crazy laughter, like a crazy laughter, like like it was like basically I was whistling, like my it was whistling. I was basically my airstream, the sounds it was making was worrying, right? And so I had this at school when I was younger. I would cough my ass off in the classroom, but past a certain point, the reflex of coughing, I kind of like, I don't know, I kind of maybe lost it, because now I know that when I have asthma, if I cough super much, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. On the contrary. And so all that's gonna help is bracing myself and breathing in and out strongly and focusing on that, because otherwise otherwise I don't even want to know. Like it's a stressful thing to like endure. And yeah, so another time I was also at like some girl's place that had, I think like she was in a like she had a flatmate that had, it wasn't her own cat, but it was her flatmate's cat. But she had like multiple cats. She had like 4 or 5 cats, I think. But anyways, after half an hour, I started sneezing, and after 45 minutes, I started coughing a lot, and my eyes were really red, like I was high on weed or something, but I wasn't. And then 1 hour, like 1 hour later, this was my like kind of, she wasn't exactly my girlfriend, but like I was like past an hour, my asthma was so severe that even this girl, like she was like, okay, yeah, but I wouldn't have expected it to be like that. And I'm like, yeah, I kid you not. When I say I have asthma, I have fucking asthma. And it's not just some excuse not to wear a mask during Corona times or something, which I had to wear a mask. I never asked the doc to make me a certificate that I could show to like the bus driver, so that I wouldn't have to wear a mask. But I remember that even during Corona times, this affected me a lot. And I wonder if this lacks, if this like lack of oxygen supposedly made me dumb, to be honest. Yeah. Because when people talk to me, sometimes I got criticized for various reasons. Some might be justified. I'm a flawed individual. No one's perfect. But maybe some of it is just a result of me having gone through lots of asthma episodes and even having slight asthma as a baseline. So I know to control it, kinda, but past the point when the lungs get really tight and that the alvéole pulmonaire, as they call that in French, get so close, and with the mucus, I don't really know what it does, but my asthma is not just like an excuse so that I have something special to say, and I'm making a video out of it, and I don't want to make it sound super dramatic, like I'm constantly suffering and I will die because of it, and that I almost died because of it, and so on. But I can tell you that these asthma attacks are no joke. They're no joke. That I can tell you. Is that the moment when you would see, if you would see me like this, not being able to breathe anymore, and also not coughing, because of I've lost the habit to cough as a reaction of having asthma, because it would make it even worse. So if I brace myself and I can practically not breathe anymore at all, and I'm just like this, and I don't make much noise either, even then people could think I'm inventing, I'm acting, right? But if they get close enough, and if they want to talk to me, I can't talk in this moment. I cannot talk. I either need my cortisone spray or to go to hospital. And then I need to go through this procedure that probably has also side effects on the heart and so on. And I don't think it's the most healthy thing to do. And so I'm not taking it morning and night, the cortisone spray, because there are studies even that show that cortisone, if you take it for long enough, your bones can get fragile. And I suspect, I even wonder, because I have a broken foot. Actually, I have 3 spots, 2 on my left foot and 1 on my right foot, that are kind of stress fractures. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is also a side effect and the result of me having taken this. I've been familiar to this asthma cortisone spray since I was probably 7. And so I don't think it's the best thing to take cortisone, even if you inhale it, even if it's not in the form of tabs. It doesn't directly go in my bloodstream, but you still absorb some of the cortisone. And I just don't think that breathing in cortisone morning and night during a whole lifetime is the healthiest option. And so I am only taking it thrice, 3 times a week maybe. Sometimes I had phases, especially in the summer, I can almost almost leave it but if I leave it at home, if I leave it in the closet, if I kind of if I don't have it with me, I know that I could potentially, now if I would run around this field 4 times, 2-3 times, okay, after the first round my asthma would start coming up, but I could still run, because also I'm trained, I'm athletic, and I'm a sports guy. And so if I ran 2, 3, the third, then I would already be impaired by my asthma. And by the fourth, I could not do it. I could not do it. So then I would have triggered the asthma attack. And so I know that with this weather, it's the perfect weather conditions to get a real good asthma attack, if I want. Crise d'asthma, like crisis, I wanted to say. An asthma crisis, but it's an asthma attack. Yeah, and so me speaking French, German, and kind of speaking English, people also think I'm kind of this lunatic, crazy guy, unfortunately, when really, I wonder if I didn't suffer some kind of like brain damage over time. Yeah, from the lack of oxygen. Because I have to be honest, abstract thinking sometimes, calculation, focusing like hard, it's become hard to me. Now, these aren't easy things for no one. You always have to make efforts and so on. But I wonder if I don't have some brain damage from all these asthma attacks, right? Yeah, and also the cortisone. I wouldn't take cortisone every day for the rest of my life. Because then if when I'm gonna be old, maybe my bones will be fragile or something, and then I will have other problems. Yeah. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. I might be my fingers, but okay. I'm exaggerating. Like I'm not going to die of the cold in these but if now I ran and I wouldn't have my asthma spray and I would run 10 times around the field, I would see stars. I had this once in high school and I was doing pretty good. Like I ran around the field for like, I don't know, 8 times, 7.5 times. I averaged pretty good. But when I arrived at the finish line, my vision was dark. And I lied down on the grass in the middle, and even the sports teacher was worried, and I couldn't talk. The people were like, but I still finished it, but I would see stars, and my vision would be impaired because I would start to even like see dark, and so yeah. So I'm not making this up. I really have asthma, guys. And it might sound kind of like benign, because I perfectly know there's much worse. I perfectly know that there's lung diseases that you will inevitably die an early death. Like you will inevitably die prematurely, and you can't do anything, and you're in like pain and you for like your like whole life, and you have to basically live at the hospital and so on. So that's definitely not my case, fortunately, thank God. But I'm not making this asthma thing up. And if people don't believe it, then maybe they would have to, I don't know, put me in the military or something, not give me an asthma spray, and then tell me to run with the other guys. And after like 2-3 rounds, they would think I'm acting. But then like inevitably, I would, I don't know. So I've never collapsed because of it. I always remained kind of conscious during these asthma attacks. So I guess that I must have sort of like thought it, and I was about to say brushed it off, but brushing something off is not appropriate in this case. It's more so that I overcame these asthma attacks, which is not the most difficult. It's not the craziest thing on earth, right? But still, I'm not making this up, but the way that asthma has become like societal, almost like chronic modern day disease. Many people, many people have asthma. But so then if I just say, yeah, I have asthma, it's just like, yeah, I have asthma. It's like such a common thing. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. But no, I think that it could actually be fatal. It could actually, I could actually probably die from asthma. But okay, I don't want to exaggerate. And maybe is the time to like end this video because I'm repeating myself. But it's so beautiful, like this field. It's beautiful, ain't it? Okay. As always, I wish you all the best.